Hello, this is instructor Rick Powers from Western Technical College, Basic Statistics. Lesson number 30, Hypothesis Testing, Structure, Part 1. The first step in hypothesis testing requires making correct hypotheses. Well then, what is a hypothesis in this context? Note, it is not a number. It is a statement about a number. Example, the population mean is less than 57 degrees. Note that a hypothesis as a statement can be true or false. When we construct hypotheses, there are two types, the null hypothesis and the alternative hypothesis. The null hypothesis is symbolized by H sub 0 or H naught. It looks like this, H sub 0. This is where we assume that the population measure has some kind of standard value. Examples, the mean is equal to 57, a proportion is equal to 25%, standard deviation is equal to 3.6. Right away, we have a problem. Since we are using sample measurements, then it is not possible to prove that a population has a specified value. Samples always have sampling variation, so they will almost never match the population number. Big idea. We can never prove or accept the null hypothesis. The alternative hypothesis has a different symbol depending on the textbook. Some call it H sub A, others H sub 1. So either H sub A or H sub 1. This hypothesis is what we are trying to prove. We want to prove a difference from the standard number. Examples for the alternative hypothesis: mean is less than 57, proportion is greater than 25%, standard deviation is not equal to or is different from 3.6. Another important note, what we are talking about is proving something about a population number. We already know the value of the sample measurement. In order to see if a sample is an unusual event, we have to consider the tails. Left-tailed test if we're trying to prove less than, right-tailed test if we're trying to prove greater than, two-tailed test if we're trying to prove different from or not equal to. Here's where I disagree with a lot of textbooks. In my opinion, once we have a sample number, then we can decide what direction to look for a difference. Example, if our standard number is the population proportion of 0.30 and our sample number is 0.40, then it makes sense to me that we set up a right-tailed test. Textbooks do not agree with this idea. They say that we have to allow for either possibility, above or below in most cases. So then, how do we go about making our decision? There are three different methods, which I will talk about in the next video. But they all share a common theme: determining a statistically significant difference from the standard number. End of lesson 30.